Good Sunday morning to everybody. Dan here, Red Sox collector Dan McGraw on YouTube. Um, just doing a quick video today with a couple of mail items from the last few days, including a couple of TTM returns that I'm very happy about. Still not getting the index cards signed, but at least I'm getting my baseball cards signed. One of them signed one of the two cards I sent and they're not even returning the index cards. So I don't know if they think that I'm using them for, protection in the envelope. I don't know. I am writing it on my note to them that I'm requesting the card and the index card be signed, but so far 0 for 2 on those for the guys that I've gotten back. So I'll start off with that, and then I just want to talk about an experience I had the other day at my local card shop, which is not really a card shop, it's a jewelry store with coins and wax and supplies and things. I wouldn't call them a card store, but it's all I've got in my neck of the woods. So start off with my one card that I got in the mail. It's another one adding to my team set from 1991, Topps Desert Shield, Mr. John Marzano, the late John Marzano. Picked this one up for, I think it was $2 and free shipping. Still need quite a few of these cards, including all the big names like Clemens, Boggs, and Evans for the team set. But I think this is my 6th or 7th card, so I still have a long way to go. Still need probably close to 25 cards for that team set. So I just plug away at it, chip away at it. When I can get one cheap, I find, if I can find one cheap, I grab it. So another addition for that team set. And then my 2 TTMs. First one I got back, I think, was on Thursday, maybe Friday, I can't even remember, from Mr. Rick Cerrone. I sent him 2 cards. I also sent him an 89 Upper Deck. He signed the card, as you can see, vertically going up the side of the card here, so you can actually see the whole signature, which is kind of cool. I've never seen anybody sign like that before, but very cool. And again, he did not return my index card that I sent him, signed or unsigned. If it's not signed, I don't really care. I don't want it back. But so Rick Cerrone, and excuse me, I just dropped something. Oh, I just dropped my John Marzano. Great. All right, well, it's on top loader anyway. Should be safe. And the second one I got was the first one I've got back that they personalized, that I didn't request it, but Mr. Mark Whitten, most well-known for being one of, and I don't know the number of people that hit 4 home runs in one game. He did that when he was with the Cardinals. He signed it to Dan, Mark Whitten, the 95 studio card. He also did not return my index card. That's fine, it's a bonus at this point if I get that back. That's what I'm starting to realize. But I'm happy to get the card back signed. So 2 TTMs and a very small, like I said, addition to my 91 Topps Desert Shield team set. So I want to talk a few minutes, and it'll probably end up being more than a few minutes because that's just how I am, about an experience I had the other day. When I went to my local card shop. And again, like I said, it's not really a card shop, but it's where I get all my supplies. And occasionally I buy a box of cards, and it's very occasionally. It's usually at the beginning of the new issue season and early winter when I'm bored and there's not much else to do. I'll buy a box of Topps when Topps comes out. Sometimes I'll buy Heritage or Allen and Ginter or Gypsy Queen or something along those lines. But I went in there the other day with the intention of purchasing a booklet card holder for my David Ortiz booklet that I got a month or so ago that I still haven't bought a holder for. And I went in there, and there was a couple of people at the counter, a couple groups of people at the counter, and I went in and I browsed the supply shelf, and I didn't see any, and I'd never bought one before or looked for one before, so I didn't know if they maybe just were out of stock, or they didn't carry them, or maybe they were just out of stock on the shelf and they had some out back. So I turned around and I patiently waited, because that's really all I went there for. And I waited, and I saw I looked to my right, and there was an elderly couple. When I say elderly, they were probably in their, I would say, early to mid-70s. And they had several boxes of cards on the counter. And they asked, well, what am I up to? And the man behind the counter took out the calculator and added them up. And they were at about almost $800 worth of boxes. And I think they had 4 boxes on the counter, and I didn't notice what they were. It was none of my business, but I just noticed that they were 4 very small looking boxes of unopened cards, and it was almost $800. And they're like, okay, we'll wrap it up there. Okay, wow. Cool to see elderly people that collect. It appeared to be a husband and wife. Maybe they're show dealers, although we don't have any shows in Maine either. So very small shows when we do have them, and they're few and far between. And so I was like, wow, maybe they're eBay dealers. Maybe they sell on eBay. Maybe that's how they supplement their Social Security or whatever. None of my business, but I just thought it was interesting, and I thought it I thought it was cool to see some older people involved in the hobby. And then the two people that were more directly in front of me appeared to be a father and son. And from the conversation that they were having, and how when they checked out and when they left, I gathered that they had never been there before. Maybe they weren't from Maine; they were visiting possibly, or they were new to Maine, or they were just new to the area. I don't know. I didn't know them. I didn't ask. But the father purchased. I didn't really notice what the father purchased because that wasn't really what caught my eye. It was what the son, who couldn't have been more than 15, 16 years old, ended up purchasing. Now, when I finally got a chance to go to the counter, I asked, do you have any booklet holders? And the woman that works there wasn't really sure what I was talking about, so I tried to explain it to her, and she's like, "Oh," she says, "no, we don't have those right now." And she said, "We can't get supplies. They were out of many of the sizes of storage boxes. They were getting low on top loaders and mag loaders, and they said we can't get anything right now. They're out of stock. A lot of this stuff comes overseas, and production's been halted, and we can't get it." So that was really my first experience with ever having to not be able to get supplies there. I mean, and again, that was one thing, and it's an oddball thing, and they probably don't sell a lot of them. So it was like, okay, whatever. Maybe I'll look on Amazon or look on eBay and see if I can find one. And I did search eBay, and I was kind of surprised to see that they sell for like $7 or $8, and then you got to pay a couple bucks for shipping. I'm like, wow, I only paid $20 for the card. Do I want to spend $10 on a holder? But there's really no other options for storing those kinds of cards unless you buy I don't even know if they make thicker loaders like this that are double size. I don't know. I didn't look. So I guess that's a question for my viewers. If anybody knows that, put a comment down below. But anyway, I'll be patient on that. I'm in no hurry for it. I've got it in a sleeve and a thicker top loader right now anyway, so I'll keep it like that for a while. But anyway, getting back to the other customers, the father's son, the father made his purchases, and then the son was asking about Topps Chrome Jumbo 2020. They had a box of Topps Chrome, $359 for a box of cards that was brand new. He was inquiring about a couple of packs of football cards, and I think they were Leaf. It was a very high end. They were over $30 a pack, and I think there was 3 or 4 cards in a pack. And then he just very nonchalantly said, "Man, give me a box of Chrome." A 15, 16-year-old kid spending $360 before tax on a box of baseball cards. And I can only imagine, with the hope of obtaining a high-end Luis Robert, however you pronounce it. I don't even know. I don't even care. He's a very highly touted prospect. His cards are... I did a search on eBay last night just for the heck of it. Started with highest pricing, and I'm blown away by what people are paying for somebody who's unproven. This hobby's been around for a long time. I've been collecting cards for 40 years. I grew up in the 80s. Now, granted, we weren't talking about the same kind of cards back in the 80s. With premiums and autographs and superfractors and one-of-ones and all these color parallels and things like that. But I lived through let me see, what's the earliest one I can remember? I don't really remember it, but Joe Carbonneau is the name that comes to mind. 1981 Rookie of the Year. Never did anything after that. Let's see, who else? Then I immediately want to jump to 1988. Mr. Greg Jeffries. Anybody who's my age knows who Greg Jeffries is. Or maybe you've forgotten at this point, because his cards were right out of the gate. Back then, this was a big dollar amount. His Donruss and Fleer rookies were selling for like $8 a card. When his Topps Future Stars card came out in '89, it was $3-4 right out of the gate. I made some money selling some Greg Jeffries cards back in the day. I was selling at yard sales, and I actually set up at card shows around that time when I was still when I was a teenager. And I remember selling all my Greg Jeffries cards because I was like, well, why not? I can get more. Plenty of them. God knows there's plenty of them out there. Brian Taylor. You Yankee fans probably remember Brian Taylor. You know, his cards went nuts when they came out, and I don't know, did he even ever pitch a game in the majors? I don't know. My Red Sox, Frank Rodriguez, nothing. Big money, and back then, again, it wasn't nearly the money we're talking about today. Well, the hype was there. There was no doubt the hype was there, but not the money. And to me, I mean, if that's what that kid was hoping for, and I can only imagine, I don't know what else would be in that box potentially, that he'd have to hit a pretty darn good card to even come close to breaking even or making money on that box. And look, I get it. That's how those cards are discovered. People have to open those packs and pull those cards for those cards to hit the hobby. So I understand that there's always a chance, you know. But, it seems like I wanted to just grab that kid's arm and say, look, you could buy several PSA graded Hall of Fame rookie cards in solid grades for that same price. And I actually went on eBay that night, and I was bored, and I said, well, I'm gonna look up some 60s and 70s rookie cards, PSA graded, that have sold, completed listings, to get comps on them, and see what that kid could have gotten for that same $360. And you know, if the kid pulled a Luis Robert, however you pronounce it, autograph card or something that he could sell for double, triple, whatever it is, more power to him. Good for him. The 5 cards that I came up with, I don't have my list in front of me, so it may not be 100% accurate, so don't go jumping on eBay and looking and say, no, you're wrong, it sold for this much. The 5 cards that I came up with, in the grades that I came up with, and again, I just started with 1960 Topps, and I started with one of my favorite players, Mr. Carl Yastrzemski, his rookie card. A PSA, I believe it was a PSA 4, Yaz, which was really sharp. Again, probably had the printer dots that most of those cards are afflicted with, probably some centering issues, but the card looked good otherwise. Probably better than the one that I have. Stayed in that same year, got a 60 Topps Willie McCovey rookie in a PSA. That one I was able to find in a PSA 5. Then I jumped up to 1973 Topps, Rich Gossage. Now, he's a Hall of Famer, and you say, well, Rich Gossage, really? But, you know, he is a Hall of Famer, and I think it was a Beckett 6.5 rookie, and I jumped to 74 Topps and found a Dave Winfield, I believe a Beckett 6 or a Beckett 6.5, and then a 78 Topps Molitor Trammell and a Beckett either 6.5 or 7. And those 4 or 5 cards sold for $362 compared to the $359 that young man paid for that box of Topps Chrome. And he would have had 5 Hall of Famer rookie cards slabbed in his collection instead of that speculation on that box. And again, everybody collects differently, but to me, I would have taken those 5 cards any day of the week because I know what I have, and I think any Hall of Famer graded nowadays can be considered an investment, if you will. And I don't know what the kid's intentions were, if he's a young collector trying to invest, or if he's just a young collector who's got nearly $400 to throw down on speculating that I might get this cool card out of this pack. So I think that's what's wrong with the hobby. Part of what's wrong with the hobby is the prices right now. I mean, I contemplated in the back of my head, maybe I'm going to leave here with a box of cards, but the cheapest thing I could find other than Topps was Panini Prism for I think it was $149 a box. They were 12 packs containing 12 cards. So I was going to be paying more than $1 a card. And I don't even know because I don't pay attention to what comes out in what set, what the autographs are, whatever. And I'm glad I didn't. I had willpower. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I couldn't really afford it anyway. So I definitely, I walked out of the shop buying nothing because I was so discouraged with box prices and pack prices. Because even, I was saying, maybe I'll buy a couple of packs, but an individual pack of Panini was $14. I mean, Topps Chrome packs, jumbo packs, I think were, God, I want to say they were $30 a pack. I'm like, I'm not paying $30 for a pack of cards. I'm not doing it. So I know that the hobby is very hot right now, and there's a lot of people getting into it for the first time, and then maybe people who've been out of it for a while are getting back into it, and that's great. It's great for the hobby, but I think that there's way too many people speculating on, and maybe this Luis Robert is the next Mike Trout, but I highly doubt it. I mean, if he is, great, I'm wrong. But I'm not going to spend my money on his stuff, no doubt. I'm not going to buy packs just to try to pull one of those. That's not what I do. I collect Red Sox, and probably a lot of you are saying, well, look at some of the stuff you buy. You buy everything. You're right, I do buy everything, because my collection has a theme, and not everybody's collection is themed like mine is. Very few are. There's player collectors, team collectors, set collectors. They collect players that went to a certain school. Players that maybe they grew up in their hometown or that are from their hometown, or I don't know, Hall of Famers, Rookie of the Years, Cy Young Award winners. There's so many different kinds of categories, and I'm not knocking anybody, because collecting is collecting. You collect what you love, and that's what it's all about. But I just feel that the prices are just ridiculous, and getting, and I saw it with my own eyes, getting kids that age to drop that kind of money on product like that. I mean, I don't even know if that's a reasonable price, because like I said, they're the only game in town, and I don't shop for that stuff online, so I don't even know, is $360 a reasonable price, for a box of Topps Chrome Jumbos? Maybe it is, I don't know, maybe it's overpriced. It doesn't matter to me, I wasn't spending my money on that anyway, so, I hope the kid pulled something cool, because otherwise he basically threw away a lot of money. Maybe he pulls a base card of Robert, or maybe two. What are those going for, like 25, 30 a piece? But yeah, I don't know, it's a little scary to me to think that a kid can drop that kind of money. But I buy what I love. He bought what he loved, apparently. And again, I'm not knocking anybody who does this. There's plenty of you guys out there that buy boxes and rip packs. I see a lot of blaster boxes. I think I now understand a little bit better why people are always complaining that Walmart and Target are, bare on the shelves, because people are going in and buying all this stuff, because the hobby, the hobby packs and things in the card stores are completely out of control. I've heard that on videos, but this was my first experience really seeing it. And so I will not be dabbling in any of that stuff. I never really intended to, but like I said, that urge sometimes, the thrill of maybe pulling that big card, and for me it would just be something I'd turn around and flip. Are you kidding? If I pull the Luis Robert, whatever his name is, out of a pack, autographed, I'd be flipping it right away. Right away. I don't see how it can go up anymore. I mean, people probably said that about Mike Trout rookies a year ago too, but I don't know. For that kind of money, I'd be flipping it and buying me some nice Ted Williams cards. That's what I'd be doing. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I just wanted to share. And, again, I hope nobody's offended. People that do buy packs, like I said, those cards have to come from somewhere. They come out of packs. People have to open packs to do that. I get it. But I'll spend my money in a different way and continue to support the hobby and support sellers that I like and people that I like, and I hope all of you continue to do the same thing. It's a great hobby that we're all involved in, and I want to see it continue to grow. But it's frustrating for me, even buying Red Sox stuff. Let's face it, they're terrible this year. They have the worst record in the American League. They're awful. Okay, it's going to be a long, short season, if you will. And I'm really not into it because there's no fans in the stands, and it's hard to watch a game. It's kind of boring. I mean, baseball can be boring to watch as it is, but when there's no fans in the stand, a Red Sox game at Yankee Stadium is not the same, or a Red Sox-Yankee game at Fenway is not the same. So, but I'm realistic, and even my Red Sox cards have certain players that aren't doing a thing are still going for higher than I'd like to pay. I'm always looking for deals, and I'm not finding anything right now. I'm going to work on my want lists, I think, through Sport Lots and Burbank, and just continue to chip away at that while things hopefully settle down a little bit, because I mean it's great. I mean, I look at some of my stuff and said if I ever had to sell stuff, I could get top dollar for it probably right now, and thankfully I'm not in a position where I have to do that. But if it would happen, then I've got money, I've got stuff to sell that I can make money back on. But adding new stuff right now, it just seems like it's overpriced, and I think it's going to come back down. I really do. But I don't know. I'm happy with what I have for now, and I'll add where I can, and always try to pick up unusual, oddball type items for my collection, and that's what makes me happy. So collect what makes you happy. You guys all do, and I enjoy watching you guys and your pickups and your through the mails and your, you know, even when you guys open packs. I think that's cool. If you pull something cool, that's great. But I'm going to stick to my Red Sox. That's what my love is, and well, I've rambled, but thanks for listening. Anyway, if you have made it through this 20-minute video, I appreciate your sticking around to hear my thoughts, and certainly comment down below what you think. I don't think I'm alone in this, and again, don't be offended if you do that stuff. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying it's not for me, and I think that the prices of stuff right now is just through the roof, and it's discouraging for us longtime collectors who want to add more stuff to their collection, who are, you know, we can't because, or we are not willing to. You know, I could overbid on stuff, but I'm not going to, because I think it's going to come back down and I can live without whatever it is, because my collection is so broad that I can pick up something else, you know, to fill that gap. So that's all. I'm going to stop now. 21 minutes in. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Sunday and take care.